Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how I made these adorable little woodland creature ornaments out of fabric that I found at Hobby Lobby. And these were so simple to put together, and I made them to where you could slip them into a Christmas card as a sweet little ornament. You can write a little sentiment on the back if you would like, and just slip those right in there. And I thought this turned out really cute. I also got the little flower embellishments from Hobby Lobby, but I added my own little rhinestone in the center there. And I just glued this on gold cardstock and cut around it, made a border, and I poked a hole and put this little baker's twine in here like that. I mean, it was so easy to put together. I did add a little bit of glitter to the ears and the cheeks, and I did that on each one of the little animals. Not too much, but just enough to give it the tiniest of sparkle, you know, make it look festive. And the only one that I didn't do out of the fabric was the little bear right here, and I'm going to need to do the little bear, but I've done those three up. So stay tuned, and I'll show you how to make these. Okay, so I went to Hobby Lobby last week. They had all of their fabric for 25% off, and they had set out quite a bit of Christmas fabric. And I just fell in love with these little woodland creatures. And I thought, you know, I could probably turn these into some really cute ornaments that are slim enough to fit into a Christmas card. So yeah, there was a lot of fabric there that I could have used. I chose one where there wasn't a tremendous amount of detail for me to cut around, and I'll show you how I do that. I don't go in between each little piece like this. I just kind of go around and leave a slight border to it, and like I said, I'll show you that in a moment. But a lot of times what I like to do is go into the fabric department and ask for quarter yard pieces, and that way I have a lot of little things to craft with, and I don't have to pay a lot of money by buying, you know, an entire yard. I got 38 usable images from a fourth of a yard here, and it was $1.56. So that's practically nothing. And if I had asked for an additional 3 inches or so, it would have given me something like 18 more images. But I didn't do that. So, you know, go through your stash that you have at home as well, your Christmas fabric stash, and I'll show you just a few that I picked up last year from Walmart. This was the fabric that they sell in rolls like this, and then they put a little belly band around it, and I think they're like $2 a piece or something like that. I don't know, I can't remember the exact cost. But this would make a really cute little ornament for a guy. And you can even add little words to the truck. It says peace, joy, happiness. And I'll show you one here that I made. Now, it would have looked tons better if I had used the glitter background in a gold, but I ran out of the gold. So I had to use silver, but I just wanted to show you this. And it's slim enough to fit into a card, and you can write a sentiment on the back. And I added the little word here that said peace. I added it right here. So anyway, that's just a little example. And some little birds, little chickadees and little cardinals. Wouldn't they make really super cute little ornaments? And this is flannel, but it has some great little words on it that you could cut out. It would be a really cute thing to add to your crafts, especially, you know, the felt, the soft felt. And then this one is more of a, I think, more of a farmhouse type look, but that would be a cute little ornament as well. As you can tell, I love birds. And here's another one. I believe these are all Walmart from last year. So anyway, that's just a few samples, just to show you. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the little raccoon, I think. I'm going to do that first. Let's see, and I'll cut out this one. I'm just rough cutting it first. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut around it. You can start anywhere. And I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to leave a very slight red border. See? Like that. And not something that's going to be overwhelming. You want to make the smallest border you can possibly make. And just go around like this. And you can see that I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. I'm moving the fabric, not my scissors. See how I'm turning the fabric as I'm cutting? And I found it easy, like when you have things like this hanging, cut it off. It just gives you, you're able to see a little more clearly what you're doing and where you're at without having to fight that dangling in the background. And I'm just cutting around it. And it makes it a lot easier too. Leaving a very small border. This is the type of craft that would be great when you're sitting in front of the TV watching Christmas movies. Because you can just take your time and not feel rushed. It's just easier to do it this way rather than fighting little teeny spaces like this. Can you imagine if you had to cut in between each one of those? It just makes it a little easier. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut here, and you're going to cut that off. There we go. And see, we have our little raccoon face. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glittered cardstock. Alright, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on the gold cardstock with fabric tack. Okay, I love this glue because it dries fairly quickly and it doesn't wrinkle your project, you know, when you put this glue on. And I'm just going to be careful to put it around the edge here because that's really the most important part, is the edge. Around here. And then I'm just going to kind of dot it here and there like that. Okay, so we have that on, and so now I'm going to place this on the glitter, the gold glitter. And I like using the glittered shades that are a medium coarse glitter. I think those are really pretty. Fine glitter will work too, but I like the medium coarse. Don't get the kind that's super chunky with big giant chunks in it. It might be a little more difficult to make a nice cut around here. This is a nice flat surface, and as you can tell, the glitter does not come off. Alright, so while that's drying, you can actually do this part while it's drying. And let me cut this off here. These are just scraps. I'm going to need more gold glitter though. Okay, now I'm going to cut a little border around here about 1/8 of an inch in width. And this is going to give it a little glimmer. And at the same time, you don't have to go overboard with the glitter. I'm going to cut this off, but you can see already at the bottom. I hope you can see it anyway. You can already see that glimmer. And just continue to go on around like this. I say about 1/8 of an inch, but it totally depends on your taste. I take my time doing this because there's no sense in rushing it. I like to do it nice and clean when I cut, and I like to be careful. And I used to tell my son when I was teaching him how to use scissors when he was a little guy, I'd say, now don't rush. Just watch where you're cutting and stop and think about where you're going to be cutting next. And that way you don't make a lot of mistakes and then get frustrated with yourself. I think we're all sometimes too much in a hurry in this world. Okay, so you can see there's a nice little glimmer on the edges. Okay, but like I said, it's totally up to you how much you want as far as glitter. Now, what I like to do as well is I like to go around the white part here and just dab a little bit of glitter on there, okay? And I'm going to be using this Glitterific acrylic paint, and it is in clear hologram, and it's by Folk Art. Now, I used quite a bit of this already, so I have it upside down here so I can just kind of, you can use your pinky finger if you want, or you can use a brush, depends on you. And I'm just gonna go, like I said, just gonna dot a little bit. I don't want a ton, just enough to give him some glimmer around the white of his eyes here. And I'll do it on the other side as well. You might want a brush. Okay, I might need a brush. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. I don't want to go too much. I don't want to go down here on his nose or anything like that. All right. Now, I would highly suggest allowing this to dry overnight, because even though it'll be totally dry, it actually starts feeling a little harder when you allow this to dry overnight, okay? And then I'll show you how I poke a little hole at the top and add a little embellishment. I chose these little poinsettias, but I'm going to glitz these up a little bit. And these were $2.99. There was originally a dozen in here, and I just picked these up at Hobby Lobby. They had a whole aisle full of kiosks down the middle of the store, and they were hanging up all kinds of Christmas embellishments and stickers like this. You know, I picked up this on the kiosk. Had a ton of stuff. Anyway, it really makes a difference when you add a little embellishment to it. It gives it a little bit of a 3D effect, and yet these are still slim enough to slip into a Christmas card. So with that, I'll stop my yakking, and I'll be back when this is totally dried in 24 hours. Okay, so this has dried, and as you can see, it's a little tougher. I also like the Recollection brand glitter paper. You find it in the open stock section at the craft stores. It just seems to be a little more hardy. So anyway, that's just my own personal taste. Okay, so now you're going to have to poke a little hole right there in the middle, up towards the top. And I have this Memory Keepers little eyelet setter here, but it also is a punch. It has a large punch, you can see there, and here is a small punch. So I like to use the smaller punch. I'm just going to go right in here, and let's see. I like to kind of watch what I'm doing as I'm poking a hole in it. Okay, so I'd say right about there. All right. And then well, I went over a little further than I wanted to, but maybe yeah, that'll be okay. I think by the time I put the embellishment on. Do this first, though. It's important before you put any embellishments on. So I have a nice thick piece of baker's twine here, and I cut off 16 inches. Okay, and I know might be a little bit long, but I would rather have some length to it than none at all. Okay, so I'm going to slip this through like that, and then I'm going to take these two pieces and pull them right through like that, and kind of push this down the top. See, and it covers it up anyway. Okay? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these little Christmas poinsettias, and you can use any type of embellishment you would like. They've got plenty of Christmas embellishments on eBay. If you just put in the word Christmas embellishments, they've got little pieces of like holly leaves with holly berries and acrylic type of poinsettias and things like that. This is made, of course, at Hobby Lobby. I told you that I got this at Hobby Lobby. But this was made with paper, but it's a very strong paper. It's almost kind of like when you feel it, like a cross between a thick paper and maybe some kind of fibers. I'm not too sure. But I like to kind of poof it out a little bit, like that. And then I just go in and cut off this little piece here in the middle. Don't want that thing. Alright. And then I'm going to use one of my little Paper Studio embellishments. I got this for half off. And I love the Paper Studio rhinestones. I am sold on these ever since I saw them at Hobby Lobby. Where I used to live before, I didn't get a whole lot of chances to go to Hobby Lobby because it was a little further out for me than Michael's, and so most of the time I went to Michael's. But I'm learning to love Hobby Lobby because now where I live, it's really close to me. It's only something like 2.6 miles away or something like that from the house. Okay, and I'm just going to put this little rhinestone in the middle, and as it dries you can just kind of lift these petals up a little more, and this won't matter at all if this is slipped into a card and it's pushed flat, because a person can always, you know, fluff it up when they take it out. But we're going to glue it right here in the middle. Make sure I don't have any little glue stringies on here. Okay, and I'm just going to take my Fabri-Tac again and put a little bit on here in the center. That's all it needs. And it kind of gives it a little 3D effect here. Whoops. Make sure that's on, and once it's totally on, I'll fluff up the leaves again, since I just smashed them back down. But I think it's really cute, and it would definitely make a sweet little tag. Now, if you don't want to write any sentiments on the back, well, you can always take this glitterific and just rub the back with it, you know, make it a little sparkly. But I like it this way, and I like that it's open so I can write something. So whatever you'd like to do, use these as Christmas card ornaments or gift tags. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and please stay tuned because I have plenty more tutorials to come, especially this time of year. And thank you so much for watching this, and God bless each and every one of you. Take care now. Bye-bye.